How do you build a profitable business in South Africa? How's it, everybody? My name's Brad. I started BRB, the energy drink for your business, back in 2019. And since starting then, I've worked with countless businesses, watched a lot go to the millions, and I've watched others go bust. And so I've seen what major things make a business fly and a business not. And so I wanted to share those with you today so that hopefully your business goes to the moon and not down the moon. Okay, so before we get into it, I wanted to put away the biggest myth out there, and the success of a business is not down to the idea, which a lot of people think. They're like, I need the perfect business idea. It's generally not. As long as there is a strong market for your product, a strong need for your product, and you have a good product or service, that is, there's a market for it and you will make money. And generally, if you go back through stats, the more boring the business, the more money there is to be made. Some of the biggest millionaires are in, say, the waste industry. Not glamorous, but money making. So don't think you need a big business idea. Find a need, find a market, and you're good to go. Okay, but here are the 3 things you need to focus on if you want to grow your business and you want to make sure it goes to. Okay, number 1 is you have to have a good service or good product. Okay, your good service or product you can't just wing it, guys. You know, there's these BPO guys out there who keep preaching, oh, you can just find someone somewhere who's really cheap and they'll do it for you. The truth is, that's a short-term solution. Yeah, you'll make some money. I'm not going to say you won't. But it's a short-term solution. That's not going to be a generational business. Why? Because it doesn't have a proper structure. You're simply selling someone else's services and pocketing the difference. Okay. What you want to build is a proper business with proper foundations. And for that, you need to have a good service or good product. And so you need to understand the product, understand the need, understand the competitors out there and what your product is and how it's good. Now, getting the experience to have a good product or service doesn't need to take you a long time. Simply doing some courses, doing some research, and most important, practicing, guys. Courses and research and stuff can only take you so far. You then need to put it into practice. So investing your own money. Before I started BRB, I spent months spending my own money on ads, working out what was working. Taking my experience of working, can I say, for other companies, and going to myself and taking that money, on my own money, and putting it in to say, hey, what's going to work? And you need to do that too, no matter what you're doing, to understand the product, understand the service, and make sure that you are confident that you are selling a good product or service. Number 2 is your USP, unique selling proposition. Okay, it's been around for a while. But essentially, you have to have a reason why they're going to come to you and not to your competitor, especially early on. Now, this is not price. Okay, everybody loves to jump and go, I'm just going to be the cheapest. Okay, the cheapest, it doesn't work. And can I show you a clear example? If you go to ShopSide, you go to Pick and Pay, okay, you're going to have the cheap no-name brand cola, and you're going to have Coke. What do most people buy? Coke. Why? Because it tastes better. The cola is cheaper, and so we'll buy it, when the bank account's empty and with friends coming over, But the most of the time, when you have the money and you have the choice, what are you going to buy? You're going to buy Coke. Why? Because it tastes better. You don't care about the price at that point. Okay, and that's the same in your business. So simply being cheaper is not enough. Okay, it's something, but it's not enough. And I would say to you, don't race to the bottom, because you'll see in point 3, it's going to get in your way. Instead, focus on how do you do things differently. This could be same-day call-outs. This could be free call-outs. This could be the way you structure your products. This could be shorter-term contracts, worked really well for us. Those sort of things, so that clients understand what makes you different and why would they choose you versus one of your competitors. Okay, huge thing. Because trust me, if your USP is good enough and you quoted more than somebody else, they'll come back and try and negotiate or consider it, or even just go ahead because your USP was better than somebody else's. Number 3, margins. I'll be honest that this almost crippled my business. Okay, I didn't listen to myself and do number 2, and that's what I'm telling you from experience. And I tried to go the price route. We had good, unique selling propositions, but I tried to go the price route. And I was like, if I'm just really lower cost than all the competitors, it'll be great. The truth is that, again, works short term. You'll get some clients, but soon you're going to get to a point where you want to grow your team. You want to have a team. We have a team of 8 now. You want to grow further, and then you don't have the margin to do so. So margin, essentially, you get 2 margins. Gross margin is your revenue, so how many goods or products you sold, okay, or services, minus the cost of making those goods or services. Okay, but the direct cost, guys, what comes with it? So if you're baking a cake, you're going to take off the flour and all of that sort of stuff, but you're not going to take off the rent or the staff. Okay, Okay, and that's essentially how that works. So for service businesses, generally you have a very, very high gross margin. I think ours is in the 90s, can I say? Because you don't have really many things coming off of what you're doing, whereas a product business might have mixed. But the most important one to focus on is your net margin, which is your net profit versus your revenue. Okay, and you need to make sure that a percentage of your what you're making is going into profit and how much. And so you work with the two to make sure I need to make a specific percentage profit on my gross, so that minus all my rent, overhead, salaries, electricity or insurances, all of those sort of things, advertising, gives me a net profit that works. And look, I skipped the step, if I'm honest, guys. I skipped it and I almost lost my business because we had so many sales, but we weren't making enough money on those sales or margin to actually support the overheads as the company grew. And so we made less and less money as we got bigger and bigger. And it's a common mistake business owners make, I found out in hindsight. So take it from me, make sure your margins are good, and you can calculate this simply or work with an accountant who can help you work it out yourself if you have a good accountant. Anyway, so those are my 3 tips, guys, on how you can grow a profitable business in South Africa in 2026. So make sure you follow them, guys. Yes, they're basic. Yes, they're important. Yes, they're not super fun in some ways. Like, yes, it's great to make an easy, can I say, short-term business. But I'm trying to help you build those long-term businesses that you give to your kids one day. Okay, so if you're looking, though, to grow your business and you want a little bit of help, you're making more than 50,000 Rand, preferably 80,000 Rand a month or more, and you're in the services space, click the link down below because we can help you get qualified leads right into your inbox within a few days of going live. Otherwise, we are the energy drink for your business.